All right, another series win for the Padres, and Schulte's a big series win guy, and they've won 8 of their last 10 series, but they lose today, blow a ninth inning lead as the Royals walk off in Kansas City. Still, the Padres win the series. They do lose Darvish and Joe Musgrove. Luis Ariz leaves due to injury. Is expected
Everything's
to be
fine.
back tomorrow, but yeah, everything's fine. Everything's absolutely fine. So make your way in. We're about to hit 6,300 subscribers. Please subscribe. I think we're like 2 away. So
Very
if you're here,
close.
whether it's live or on replay, please subscribe. We'll get to 6,300 subscribers with your help here tonight. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Appreciate the supers. I saw the first one already rolled in from JD Gacho. We'll get to it in a moment. Thank you, JD Gacho. Thank you, guys. Click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single super here today. If you want to become a member, get custom emojis and badges, you can do that as well by clicking the join button down below. But this thing was there for the taking. The Padres could have stepped on the Royals' throats here, so to speak, this afternoon, picked up their first sweep of the season, but they blow the 2-run lead in the ninth. Who gets the blame for today's Padres loss, Jim?
First, it's Yuki Matsui. He's the guy that gave it up today. You know, if you want to blame anybody for today's loss, I think number one, it's on Yuki. But also, I mean, the offense today had multiple opportunities, runners at first and third with no outs to pad the lead, and they didn't do it. They didn't get any runs home. That's, another reason why. But that ninth inning, walks the first batter, and you're like, oh shit, here we go. and then after that, it was just a domino effect. It happened very quickly. You could kind of see it as the inning was going on. I would have been shocked if he got out of that without giving up at least one run. And so that's number one, Yuki Matsui. Number two, Stephen Kolek, for his just egregious job on Friday night, trying to hold an 8-run lead and couldn't do it. And, not being able to get 3 freaking outs, and then Robert Suarez having to come in that game to close it down was the second reason why you lost today. And then if you want to go bullpen management with Schulte, fine, okay. But players the ones that lost today's game, and so that's where I'm going with, John.
I would agree with you on Matsui. That's his job. He closed professionally prior to getting here. He's got to hold that 2-run lead. With that being said, baseball is such a slow drip sport that things come back to bite you when things don't go well earlier in the series.
Yeah.
It's like when you lose Darvish and Musgrove. It's like, look at 2021. They lost starting pitching. They were bad down the stretch. There's no secret. Now they got to overcome Darvish and Musgrove. Okay, in a vacuum, of course you can do it over 1, 2, 3 days, maybe even over 1, 2, 3 turns in the rotation. The fact that Stephen Kolek got as many batters as he got on Friday is concerning, because then you have to go to Suarez as opposed to bridge someone first. So if they would have had Kolek leave the game earlier and go to someone before Suarez, who knows if Suarez pitches? Why is Suarez pitching yesterday a 4-run game? Okay, so honestly, I mean, yes, today in a vacuum, in a moment, is Yuki Matsui. Of course, any pitcher should hold a 2-run lead because every pitcher has an ERA better than 18. So any pitcher should hold a 2-run lead. But with all that being said, I would put as much blame on Mike Shildt for the way this whole series transpired. Suarez coming in because Kolek faced too many batters. Suarez pitching on Saturday. And then you have no Estrada, you have no Suarez. But that's where, like, over 162, it's like it's on you. You got yourself into this pickle. They knew coming into today they wouldn't have Suarez or Estrada. That was completely on Mike Shildt. Well, who goes to a closer in a 4-run game? In today's baseball. Every reliever should hold a 4-run lead. So I don't understand why they went to Suarez on Saturday with a 4-run lead.
You know what's a tad bit concerning is that I don't think Schulte is viewing today's loss as like that bad because they won the series.
He's probably right. I mean, I don't know if it's that bad. It's just it felt like you could have gotten some real momentum and picked up your first sweep of the year. Again,
the roller coaster that Schulte refuses to acknowledge of this team not being able to finish off series, be able to get, 5-6 game winning streaks under their belts. They just can't do it because they can't sweep anybody. And that to me is just a little concerning because I feel like this narrative that's being pushed out by the team, it's not the wrong thing, but like, hey, win series. But I mean, kind of just to like push these losses off to the side and be like, that's fine. Like that might come and bite you in the ass down the road. Who knows? You're not 42 and 32. You're 32 and 30. And you could have had a real good opportunity today to, like, gain a little more momentum and really get this gap here between 500 that they just seem to continuously get sucked back into. And that's where I'm kind of like, and I joke about it on social media, like, hey, they had a brutal loss today, but hey, who cares? They won 8 of 10 series. Like, that's why I feel like the tone is from the team when they aren't 10 games over 500. They're only 2. Yes, they've played a lot better baseball the last month, for sure. Okay, no doubt about it. But their overall record is the overall record.
Yeah, I mean, they've been way better. I mean, they're 18 and 12 in their last 30 games. Two things can be true. They're 18 and 12 in their last 30 games, and they wasted a golden opportunity here today. And there's a zillion culprits. You can't lose this game when you get this type of pitching from Michael King, and then you get a huge inning like you get in the 8th inning. Even if you only did score 2 runs, you could have scored more. You have to win that game.
Right.
9th inning leads are precious. You got to hold them, and they have by and large this year. Every time Robert Suarez has appeared this year, the Padres have won.
Shut it down.
He didn't have to appear Friday or Saturday. The only reason he appeared Friday is because Stephen Kolek was on the mound for too long. The only reason Stephen Kolek is on the roster has nothing to do with Mike Schilt. So there's a whole nother culprit. Do you need to carry a Rule 5 guy all season long? Is he that precious to your future that he has to be carried? And then Saturday, I saw the quotes from Schilt. The 4-run lead is the new 3-run lead. No, it's not. It's not. No manager in baseball, by and large, uses a closer with a 4-run lead. Every reliever in baseball should hold a 4-run lead other than Stephen Kolek, who shouldn't be in the big leagues right now. So, yeah, Yuki Matsui's got to hold the lead, but Mike Schilt's job is to manage his bullpen where Yuki Matsui isn't pitching in that spot, is it not? And that was Mike Schilt's decision. I've been very praiseworthy of Mike Schilt and his usage of the bullpen. Not this weekend. It didn't go properly. It just didn't. There's no excuse for it. To your point, I mean, Stephen Kolek has to pitch better, but for an 8-run lead to have then a closer in the game, you got to get to someone before you get to the closer. You have to be able to do that. And then a 4-run lead, you should not be pitching your closer in that spot. It just doesn't make any sense, and it cost them today's game.
Yep. Yeah. The managing of Kolek on Friday came back to bite him in the ass today because he just left him out there. And I know he's a Rule 5 guy, but why is Stephen Kolek on this team? There's no point to have him on this.
You just answered it.
I know, but that's cool. If that's the answer, then that's a shitty salute. Like, reason why he's on this team is because he's a Rule 5 guy. Because because at this point in time, John, after Friday, you're never pitching him in a meaningful moment for their foreseeable future.
Yep.
The only time that you're going to see him is if they're down by a bunch of runs, or if they're up by a bunch of runs. And even if they're up by a bunch of runs, it's still going to feel a little dicey there, just because of what just happened. Like, there is no point to have Stephen Kolek on this team right now. And it sucks that the reason why he's on this team and they can't do anything about it is because he's a Rule 5 guy.
8 batters, Jim.
It's ridiculous. I get it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Friday night. 4. It was stupid. It was stupid.
It's like after 4, why don't you go to a reliever that isn't Robert Suarez and just end the game? After 5, why don't you go to a reliever that isn't Robert Suarez and end the game? So Schilte's got to raise his hand there and be like, that's on me. That's completely on me. It's on AJ Preller that he's on the team. Mm-hmm. It's on Mike Schilt. He got 8 batters in the 9th inning. You nearly lost the game to the point where you got a fly ball within 4 feet of leaving. That would have been a tie. Mm-hmm. But you nearly lost the game because you got cute. And then the truth is, they got cute yesterday. Jim, who pitches Robert Suarez in this way? It's 7-3. You tack on with 2 in the 9th inning. Why would you pitch Robert Suarez in that spot? Give me one reason.
Because he's already up and warming. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that alone is. I mean, guys are going to get hot, right, over the course of a season.
Because they scored.
Wandy Peralta had gone a third of an inning to get out of the 8th, and then Robert Suarez works a clean inning in the 9th, up 7-3.
You might, yeah. And if role was reversed, you would have used Yuki Matsui yesterday.
True.
In the 9th inning, and then used Robert Suarez today, and you could have been walking out of there with a
3 win
sweep. Yeah,
well, James, why not start the 9th with Wandy Peralta? Because he doesn't have to now. There's no 3-batter minimum. He just got out of an inning.
I know.
He can face 1 batter.
I don't know. And we've been fairly tame when it comes to his bullpen usage.
I'm telling you,
This
this
year,
is bad. Like I'm telling you, dude,
it's bad.
this is egregious shit. That if it happened in New York or Philadelphia or Boston or San Francisco, this shit would be people would be circling this like this is bad.
John just cussed twice. So when
Did I?
John cusses twice, you
Well,
know.
I'm just saying, I'm with you. Yuki Matsui has to do his job. He's getting paid to do his job. No question. He's accountable for today's inning in a vacuum, but he should never be pitching in that spot if not for bullpen mismanagement.
I know. I trust me. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you
with
agree.
you.
I agree. I'm just voicing my displeasure with basically like this. To me, Mike Schill cost his team a win. Whether it bites them or not, we'll find out. It may very well not. I mean, they could. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the end all be all. It's not, but he certainly cost them a win here today, in my opinion. All right, let's get to some of these super chats, guys. Appreciate it. Please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. Smash the like button for us. Thank you for the supers. We'll roll through these because this isn't really the college baseball edition of the wrap-up show. But thank you, JD Gaucho. He says, pour one out for the Birmingham Southern baseball team, knocked out of the Division III College World Series by Wisconsin Whitewater. As you know, Jim, I'm sure you watched today.
I watched it all.
The school closed. This was it for the Panthers. Yes, the school had closed. They were still playing in the Division III World Series. Kind of a remarkable story. He follows up by saying, claps for USD. Great season. WCC champs eliminated Fresno yesterday in the regional before getting knocked out 4-2 by UCSB today. Torreira's 41-15 in 2024. That is impressive. Carlos, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you hanging out. Good to have you here as always. Longtime supporter of the channel. He says, I don't care if Kolek screwed up on Friday. Not doing it the Schilt way does not guarantee we win series. Matsui is to blame. You needed 3 outs, got none. No question. In this moment, he's got to pitch better than he did here today. I would agree with that. I think both things can be true. Matsui was bad. And she'll put him in a situation that he basically hasn't been in this year because of how good Robert Suarez has been and Jeremiah Estrada.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming the loss today on like Kolek, but like Kolek takes the blame for the strategy that had to be used,
right?
Because of what happened Friday night. You know, like I think it was even mentioned by the Royals that I think their manager said, like, yeah, Friday night really helped us or something along those lines. Like we forced them to use their closer. And whenever you force somebody to use your closer, especially in the first game of the series, it's like, oh, hope that doesn't come to bite you in the ass later on because, the Royals are a good team. We saw that. They're a good team. Their bullpen sucks, but like they're a good team.
Sure.
And if that thing was close, and you could only use Robert Suarez for 2 of the 3 games, well, you did not want to use him on Friday because that game should have never been like that. I mean, that 8th inning on Friday was one of the best innings the Padres have had in years.
Did they have 11 hits or 12?
11 hits.
10 singles and a double?
Yeah. And they scored 8 runs. And then you're leading 11-3 in the 9th inning,
and your closer comes into the game.
And I said on Friday, like, and I know he's a Rule 5 guy. What it means by a Rule 5 guy is you can't send him down to the minors because then he becomes a guy that any team could pick him up.
You can if you hide it, if you IL it, if you pretend
it's hurt. But like, my God, that to me, any other pitcher, John, if he wasn't a Rule 5 guy, any other pitchers get sent down. Am I wrong?
Of course.
So he's protected because he's a Rule 5 guy.
Value here? I mean,
there's no
what's
value.
The value? I mean, you need this guy long term. He's got a 1.65 WHIP and a negative 0.5 WAR. What's the play here? I thought this system is loaded with pitching talent. You're telling me this 27-year-old is part of your next 5 years? This 27-year-old has to be here because you don't have 23-year-olds in your system that can do the same thing.
And it cost them today. It cost them because of the strategy that had to be used. And you get to the 9th inning and you feel pretty damn good. And this team's been playing really good baseball. I mean, on the road, they're just like they're like one of the best teams on the road in baseball. I think they have the 3rd best record overall in baseball on the road. And you have an opportunity once again to like finish off a series against one of the best home teams in baseball, by the way, in the Royals. And then you get to go back to California, take on the Angels for 3 games. Hopefully you beat up on them too because they're not good. And you could have had like a 5-1 potential road trip here. You come home, you give yourself a tad bit of wiggle room because you suck at home, right? But maybe that leads into you finally playing good baseball at home for one time this season. And it's like 2 steps forward, one step back a little bit. Not like the end of the world here. You haven't lost like 6 in a row. It's just one game and you won the series, but still it's another like trip up where hopefully that's going to bite you in the ass down the road type of thing.
Right. Like, how long can you count on Waldron to be as good as he's been? He's been very good. Anaheim's the worst home team in baseball. They're pathetic.
You better beat up on them. You better beat up on them.
7-21 at home. They're 7-21.
They have a lefty tomorrow, though, John, and Tim Anderson, so that should be interesting. Or Tyler Anderson?
It is tomorrow.
Who's their pitcher? I know it's Anderson.
Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Anderson, okay.
Is pitching tomorrow. But no, it's a fair point. I mean, you have to win that series. And like you said, maybe you wasted an opportunity to go 5-1. Maybe they can still do it. I mean, as bad as Anaheim is, maybe they can still sweep a series in Anaheim. I don't think it's easy when it's Waldron, TBA, our 2-year starters. I don't know who throws Tuesday, but, I think you take 2 out of 3 on the road, even though Anaheim sucks. And you live to see another day. It's a 4-2 trip, which is really good, and you're getting back home. But yeah, a wasted opportunity. There's no question about it. Carlos, thank you. He says, however, Kolek has no business on this team. He says, bum. I mean, yeah, it's not personal. I don't understand really the fascination here from a Rule 5 perspective. I just looked up his career minor league numbers. He's got a 1.4 whip in his career in the minor leagues. He's got a 1.65 whip in the major leagues. He's got a 6.66 ERA. Obviously, a lot of that's inflated from what happened Friday. I don't understand the necessity here. It's like, it's one thing if you've got a system that has absolutely no pitching talent. I'm told they've got a lot of pitching talent in their organization. So I don't understand why this is the one piece that cannot be moved, where all other pieces are interchangeable, but this guy's got to be here. This 27-year-old.
Yeah, trust me, it makes no sense. I don't get it. It makes 0 sense. And it's not makes sense all year long why he's here.
He's had some moments where he's been fine. He's had some moments
where slider against the Yankees on my wedding night. I heard about that. That was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Remember, that was a big win.
Big win. Not really.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, someone explain it to me. Like, lay it out. For who, for what, why? They have anyone can make the major league minimum who's in AA or AAA. It's not because they're not paying him. It's not because they really envision this guy for the next 5 years being a big piece in their bullpen.
How mad do you think Schulte would get if a question was asked, what's the reason that Stephen Kolek is still on this roster?
Well, the thing is that has nothing to do with him, obviously.
I know, but like, we can't talk to Preller. Or like, what's the
typically?
But like, give us the reasoning why Stephen Kolek is on this roster.
Well,
what does he bring to the team?
Oh, he'll make a passionate defense for this guy and say he's the best reliever since Mariano.
Right. But that's
if Bob Melvin was managing this team, Bob Melvin might have walked out the door on Friday after that.
Bob Melvin would have been like, we're not using this guy. I mean, we're not using this guy. But you're probably asking, you're like, guys, why are you talking about Stephen Kolek so much? Because it all stems from Friday night, and it's on Yuki today, but like, Yuki should not have been in that situation because of Stephen Kolek shitting the bed on Friday, having to use Robert Suarez. And by the way, you didn't have to use Robert Suarez. Like, it's on Schulte. Schulte makes the moves. Could have used somebody else. Let me see who used that game. So that game, John, you had the 8th inning. You had Wandy Peralta finished off the 8th inning. So Matsui was used that game. Peralta was used that game. Estrada was used for 2/3 of an inning that game.
Yeah.
And then Colt came in, shit himself, and then you had to use Suarez. So like,
no, that's fine. It's just you got to yank Kolek earlier and then go to like Morejon. Like, it's fine to start the inning with Kolek, and after 3 batters and a run is in on a home run and a single, bye-bye.
Estrada only threw 2 pitches in that game.
And that's fine. That's
but then
fine.
He threw 32 the next day.
Yeah, that's fine. I have no issue with that. It's about the circumstance. You get to the 9th inning with an 11-3 lead. Yeah, there's a little bit of rope. Okay, give Kolek a 4th batter. Give him a 5th. 8? Lord.
I would have finished that. I would have finished that game with De Los Santos.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, because
No, I have no problem starting the inning with Kolek. None. I have a problem with him getting 8 batters.
and then yesterday. See, yeah, okay. It's making a little okay. So De Los Santos wasn't used at all in this series until today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would have definitely finished off Friday night with De Los Santos, and I would have not finished. I would have not used Suarez.
Well, I would have used Suarez if I'm going to use Kolek for 8 batters. Like
Once it
becomes a safe situation, I'm using Suarez.
Once it got to like, okay, it's now a 5-run lead instead of a 8-run lead. I'm changing.
Exactly. You have to go to a pitcher before you go to your closer in that spot. Exactly.
Yep. You're not.
JD Gatcher, thank you for the super. He says, "How is Anaheim that poor at home? It's the pros because they've been awful. They're actually good on the road. They've been fine on the road. They've been horrific. They're not good. They're just not good. You have to beat up on them in this spot. You just have to. You should have 10,000 Padres fans at all these games." Art House now 64. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat. He says this was not the first time Kolek could not close out ninth with no than a 4-run lead or larger than a 4-run lead. Was there one other time? Art House now 64. Maybe. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, it's a big, big problem. Now his only role is pitching with a 5-run deficit. That's his only role for the next 3 weeks.
Yep. You're not putting
down by 5. Turn to him.
Yep. That's it.
You can't pitch him with a lead. I mean, when are you going to pitch him with a lead?
Or not. And you have to have a 12-run lead.
I mean, I guess if your starter goes like 2 innings, I'm with you. I think it's a good point. All right, let's get to our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz. Can't do it without the support of everyone here live or on replay. Can't do it without our title sponsor on the wrap-up show, our buddy Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's not thrilled about the way today went down in Kansas City, but if you have an insurance need, he'll be thrilled because he does everything. I've got homeowners, life insurance, and earthquake insurance through Mark. You can as well. He can save you $750 or more. In addition, he does auto, he does renters, he does everything. I mean, condo, whatever you need, he does. Just by switching your insurance, you could save $750 or more. Click the link in the description down below to get to his website, which you see on the screen right now. Get a free quote online. Get free quotes by calling Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He's a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diegan. He has been with the channel for 3 years. He helped get this channel off the ground. So if you support our work, if you have any insurance need, whether it's a new policy or before you renew, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Great insurance agent. Take it from me. I had to file a claim a couple of years ago. Saved us so much time, so much money. He's been with us since day one. So if you support the channel, please click that link in the description down below.
Yep. All his information is in the ticker there. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
Of course, the story is you, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove. Like, you could have swept this series or gotten swept in this series, and the story was always going to be the remaining 100 games, not the 3 games that were played here. I mean, this is a story, but that is the story. And my mind immediately goes to 2021 when I hear about starting pitching injuries beyond injury. I mean, you got $200 million tied up in these pitchers, more, in Darvish and Musgrove. And the Musgrove thing's the most concerning. It could be the year, even if they're telling you it's not. It could be the year. And then the Darvish thing, even if they're telling you it's 2 weeks, it could be longer than that, even though it was only a couple of weeks the first time he went on the IL. So that's the real concern. I know everyone loves the system, and they're loaded with pitching talent, and they got guys that can come up and help. But we've watched Randy Vasquez. We've watched whomever else, Johnny Burrito occasionally. I mean, you're going to need to get maybe 5, 10, 15 starts now from your system over the next month or so. So that's the real story, Jim. Yeah, it's one thing to win the series, which is good, but it's another thing to lose Darvish and Musgrove for the foreseeable future, if not longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of good things from this series. Tatis hopefully is heating up.
No doubt.
Luis Ariz is amazing. Knock on wood, he's fine.
That's scary. Yep.
Scary. He told Kevin, he's like, I'm playing tomorrow. I'm fine.
Yep.
But he's incredible. Profar continues to be amazing. Estrada and Suarez are, lockdown guys. They're just ridiculous. I think Michael King pitched really, really well today. Vasquez pitched really well on Saturday. Those things in a vacuum are great to talk about, right? But the bigger picture stuff here is the Suarez. There's the Musgrove and Darvish. And I hate that I was right about Musgrove. I just I was still When you are telling me that you are going on the IL for anything elbow or shoulder related, like, I'm sorry, that is, no matter what, for the rest of the season will be a concern. And it took what, 3 starts for him to go right back on the IL for the same thing?
I forget if it was 2 or 3. They both were like okay, right? Wasn't one of them like what was the 6th inning one? Was that against the Yankees?
It was 2 starts. He had 1 start when he had 3 innings, and then the
Oh yeah.
last start on Sunday versus the Yankees was 5 1/3, I think.
Yep.
And I tell you what, John, again, I would not be surprised at this point if he's done for the season. Like, this is not something that is just I'll be fine in a couple weeks. Maybe like a neck thing for Darvish, or like a little bit of like a tight hammy or whatever. Elbow issue, 3rd time in the last 7-8 months that he's gone on the IL for an arm issue.
It's a problem.
It's a problem, and I hate that this potentially will be I don't know, season ender, because when have you ever felt confident with any type of arm related injury that the Padres tell you about? I've never been confident. Never. So I don't trust any type of thing that they tell us. They could tell us that, yeah, he'll be fine in a week, and then all of a sudden a week later, it's like, oh, he just had Tommy John surgery. Like, that's the type of the organization they are, and that's their track record. So for me, honestly, John, I would be more surprised if he's back this season than if he's not.
I tend to agree. I wouldn't be shocked if he gave it a go. I would be surprised if he was effective again this year and gave them anything of substance. So the first 2 years of this $100 million deal are 97 1/3 innings last year, where he was effective when healthy, but only made 17 starts, which is essentially a career low. And then this year, 10 starts, 49 1/3 innings, less than 5 innings per outing. And his ERA this year is still 5.66. So those could be the first 2 years of the 5-year deal. And if this is something that is a season ender, then nobody's going to feel good about the start of 2025. He might have to have some type of surgery. If the season is over, it's going to be more than a rehab process, presumably, for Joe Musgrove, which means you could be cutting into 2025. So that's dicey. This is the problem with long pitching deals. It felt like a value play at the time. He was very, very valuable for this team for a couple of years, but this is the problem with 4, 5, 6-year deals. Look at Darvish, paying him into his 40s. Musgrove, a 5-year deal. I think he earned it. I think it was a reasonable deal. How much, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but how much, whether it's injury or otherwise, how much bad money can you have in the books? And they have a lot of it. I mean, it's crazy. What percent of their
Bogarts, Musgrove, Darvish?
I mean, it's crazy. It's
I think they're still paying Hosmer this year.
It's a crazy percentage.
Manny was giving you not a lot.
A good thing they got freaking Jerkson Profar and Luis Ariz for free.
Seriously, like those 2 guys are
for nothing.
Yeah, those 3 guys right there for free, and they're pretty much carrying this freaking team on their back.
Good thing they got Donovan Solano for nothing.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, those 4 guys right there.
Seriously, I mean, and that's good. That's credit on AJ Preller. Seriously, I mean, for the bad, there's good.
Yep.
And they're fine. I mean, overall, they're 32 and 30, but you got the word fine, dude. 2021. I'm not saying this is 2021. Tatis said this isn't 2021. So this team's better. Sure. What else is he going to say? But 2021, they had all this equity. They were like 15, 20 games over 500, and the wheels fell off without pitching. This team doesn't have 15 games to work with. They have to play 100 games. This is the 2020 season. Like, if 2020 you lost Clevenger and Lamet, your season's over. But they did. But
over.
The season was over.
It was over.
2021, they didn't even have to go 100 games. They had 60 games, and the wheels fell off. They have 100 games. Now, do I think their pitching's better? Yeah, probably. I think Michael King, Dylan Cease, the way Waldron is thrown, we'll see about a Vasquez. We'll see about their system. But that's scary, man. That's really scary.
They're going to need Cease, King, Waldron, I guess Vasquez, and probably I don't know if they're going to start Brito. My guess is they're going to call up another pitcher, right? But in the meantime, you're going to need to get what you saw today from Michael King consistently. You're going to need Dylan Cease to kind of get his shit together a little bit here. Pitch well on Saturday, but like when the wheels fall off with him, it kind of just goes quickly. Like he can dominate for 5 straight innings, and all of a sudden that 6th inning, it was just like, what happened? So those 2 guys are gonna have to be their top 2 guys, along with, I mean, Waldron's pitched really well, okay, and you'll take, Randy Vasquez. You'll take whatever he can give you. Sorry, Dylan Cease pitched Friday, Vasquez pitched Saturday, but I mean, you get 5 innings, 3 earned runs given up by Vasquez every time out. You have to take it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is where you're gonna like this offense, Jim. I think I texted you at one point over the weekend. Maybe it was Saturday. Like this offense is legitimately like lethal at times. Like this
on the road.
This offense has a propensity to come through A in big spots
on the road,
and B just randomly pop up a big inning
on the road.
Yeah, but overall, look at all they're top 10 everywhere. I looked at it
because of
Saturday
the road
night.
stats.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, they are what they are.
Listen, their road stats, Sean, are the best in baseball.
But if they go 50 and 30 on the road, it counts.
I know, and they're
on pace to do better than that.
Right, that's exactly what the Astros did last year, and that's exactly what the Padres are doing this year with the same pace at home and the road. Home, they suck. Road, they're amazing.
So I'm saying it all adds up. I mean, the point's valid. Yeah, they're way better on the road. There's no question about it. I still think it evens out. I think that they'll get going at home because most teams do. Almost every team that's good gets going at home at some point. Like this offense is like, again, they have a knack for coming through in big moments. They go down a run, they tie it up or take a lead. Tie game late, they score multiple runs. They'll randomly drop a 4-run inning on you every second game. Again, even today in the 8th inning. Yeah, basically on the road, but I'd be. You think this team? Okay, I'll make a bet with you.
Okay,
this team will finish above 500 at home. I'll bet you whatever you want.
Where are they at right now?
They're like 6 under.
I think they'll finish above 500 on.
Thank you.
At home, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like a game. Like if they went 41-40 at home.
But that's perfect. Then they'll be in the playoffs. Then they'll be the top wildcard team.
True, you're right. They'll be the top. Yeah, they'll have home field advantage.
These are going to win 4, and they don't want that.
No, because they'll win close to 48 games on the road.
Yeah, they win 48 on the road. They win 41 at home. They got 89 wins, and they've got the 4th best record in the National League, would be my guess.
Well,
yeah, there's a long way between. Again, what can slow them up from that? Starting pitching, and I've made that argument a million times. I can't rely on this offense every day to score 6 runs.
I mean, I gotta look this up because hold on. Because their road statistics are incredible. It's the best in baseball. Now they might paper cut you to death with a bunch of singles, but they put so much pressure on you on the opposing team.
They don't strike out, walk.
They don't strike out. I mean, Luis Ariz is always on base. He's always getting hits. Let's look here. So their home stats, John. All right. Is this right? No, wait. Okay. So, yeah, here we go. On the road, as a team, they're hitting 295 with a 349 on base percentage and a 767 OPS. Tops in baseball. At home, okay, they're hitting 224 with a 670 OPS. So 100 points less, and they're like one of the worst, hitting teams at home. That's kind of crazy. And I mean,
speaks to Petco. I mean, you hear me complain about it every day.
But the Yankees just came into Petco and made it look like a small ballpark.
The Yankees don't play their 81 games, and the Yankees are legitimately good and one of the best teams in baseball.
Probably the best team in baseball, along with the Phillies.
That's
but
the
also
best team in baseball can deal with any part.
Last year, so
listen, the Padres will win half their home games or more. Trust me. Just let's see it through. Though it'll be 70 degrees one day on the water. Trust me. Let's see it through.
It's been 70 degrees a lot.
It won't be more. No, it hasn't. You know, the high temperature at the airport this month, or in the month of May, was 71 time. One time. Not everyone lives where the hell you live.
Why are you yelling at me?
But I'm saying it hasn't been. It's the same thing every night.
You're yelling at me.
No, because when I say that it's the ballpark, you're like, oh, everyone hits home runs at the ballpark.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
say that. I
You
said
said this year.
you've said it too. You
they
said
did.
why is it that opposing teams come in here and make Petco look like hitter's
No, I
ballpark and the
make the
Padres
point that
can't?
it's not mental for the road teams, don't I? Because they play here 3 games, not 81.
Well, then I don't know. Figure it out, Padres.
Art House now 64. Thank you. He says Kolek in Milwaukee, April 16th. I guess he blew a large lead that day. I don't remember it, but I take your word on it. A lot of teams have Rule 5 guys, by the way. I mean, the Yankees might have a Rule 5 guy. I have no idea. There's probably 12 teams in baseball with a Rule 5 guy. It just seems a little exposing for the Padres right now. All right, let's talk about our friends at Finley, local San Diego startup. Huge Padres fans, love San Diego. We've told you Mark Grant, he's an advisor. Their offices overlook Petco Park. Really cool company. The quickest way to explain Finley is they allow fans to own a piece of the potential upside of real athletes. We've told you a million times. They've got their first athlete, Shedry Vargas. We told you that Fernando Tatis Jr. did a deal with a similar company when he was in the minor leagues. He gave up 10% of future earnings for guaranteed revenue when he was in the minor leagues. He gave up 34 million plus in the process. Imagine if you could have invested as an individual in Tatis. You can do so right now in one of the top prospects in the Rangers organization. His name is Shedry Vargas. And you can support a rising prospect and get paid a piece of his future major league earnings if he makes it. He was the top prospect in the Arizona Complex League. He signed for just a few $1,000s. They're raising capital that will allow him to focus on baseball year-round. If you see on the website right now, if I scroll down, you can see that an investment as little as $96 could return hundreds, if not thousands of dollars based on whether or not he reaches the major leagues and how he performs in the major leagues via dividends. And then the more you invest, the more you could potentially earn should he reach the major league. So cool opportunity. Click the link in the description down below. San Diego-based company. They've got their first athlete. You can invest right now starting at just $96 by clicking the link in the description down below.
Yeah, all their information is in the link down below. Shedry Vargas is the athlete that we are promoting here and they're promoting here. And Keith Law, very high on Shedry Vargas and the Rangers organization. Like John said, Mud Grant is an advisor to Finley. They're a local startup business. Their office is right across Petco Park. And if you want to know more about Finley, go to the description below, click the link, takes you to the website, and you can learn all you need to know about Finley. We're glad they're aboard.
I didn't hear. Did you hear Schilt postgame? Like, was there any real reaction? I'm assuming there wasn't anything heated, or I would have seen it on social media.
No, they won the series. Why could Schilt's not going to be upset?
He was upset the last time they won a series. We talked about it for 3 hours on the radio.
Well, because of the question, because he found it to be, I don't know. There was no questions to be asked that were going to make.
I'm assuming just nobody's there. Who's there, Kevin?
Kevin's there. That's it.
Right. I mean, winning series isn't. I mean, winning series on the road, winning 8 out of 10 series and going 18-12 over any 30-game stretch is a good stretch. Like, yeah, 32-30 is 32-30, but I will argue the other side of it. 18-12 is 18-12. Like, that's a legitimate stretch for any big league team. That's 600 baseball. So maybe they are onto something even with some of the blips, or maybe not, or maybe they've given away a couple of games that will come back to hurt them later in the year. I think you could argue potentially either way based on how they're playing right now.
It just shows how bad their first month was. To go 18-11 and lost, or 18-12, excuse me.
I think 18-12, yeah.
And you're only 2 games over. Now, granted, National League's not great. You have the second wild card spot right now. I mean, the freaking Cardinals, John, are in the final wild card spot in the National League.
Right.
There's nobody in the National League, everything withstanding, that like, watch out for those guys.
Right.
You know,
the Giants are half game out of a playoff spot and they've lost 4 straight and are
Giants
2 games under.
Giants suck. Cardinals are whatever. I mean, I don't trust the Pirates. I don't trust the Nationals. The Cubs have fallen off a cliff. Arizona, maybe, right? But they've just lost Zach Gallen and they're just kind of up and down. You know, I mean, Corbin Carroll doesn't even look like he's just whatever. So just by default, the Padres may just be like, shit, maybe 82 wins does get you in the postseason this year, John.
I think it'll be close to that. Honestly, I do. I think it'll be 83. I think it'll be less
Yeah.
than last year.
And
Now maybe someone goes for it, and
Yeah.
maybe there could be some teams that really bolster, potentially seeing it as an opportunity. But if any team does, it's probably San Diego.
It's gonna be funny when they win 82 games and they go 82 and 80, same thing as last year, and they make the postseason. And if they got swept in the first round of the wild card, like you better not say one negative thing about this team to Schulte or Preller,
Yeah.
because they've made the postseason.
Well, they won't get swept. I promise you that if they go 82 and 80, because they're going to play on the road and they're going to win that series, or they're at least going to win a
Probably
game.
they'll be like the best road team in baseball, one of the worst home teams in baseball.
I mean, the weird part about it is we'll see what the impact of Darvish and Musgrove is. You think it's significant potentially, but we'll see. Nobody knows the future.
Darvish shouldn't miss too much time. The Musgrove thing could be like closer to a good amount of time.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll see what it all means. How many starts combined with these two guys? But if you piecemeal out their pace, they're on pace to win more than 82 games. They're 2 over right now.
Right.
So double this, they're 4 over. Then there's still another 40 games left. They're 5-6 over. I mean, they're on pace. Again, it's not a big difference, but they're really on pace to win like 84 games right now, for whatever it's worth. But you could argue 18 and 12. Well, actually, they're trending upwards. Or you could say they're 32 and 30, and they've lost Darvish and Musgrove. They're trending downwards. So again, this was, I thought, I agree. Fadden put out the tweet. I'm giving Ben Fadden credit. This 19-game stretch, I say go 12 and 7, you'd be 5 over 500. And so far on the stretch, they are 4 and 2. Yeah, 2 and 1 against Miami, 2 and 1 against Kansas City. They have 3 in LA. They have 4 against Arizona. They have 3 against Oakland. So they're 4 and 2. If they go 2 and 1 against LA, they're 6 and 3. Even if they go 2 and 2 against Arizona, they're 8 and 5. Then 2 and 1 against Oakland, they're 10 and 6. Then the Mets, 2 and 1 there. They're 12 and 7. I could see them getting 4, 5, 6 over here. I hope I'm right. It doesn't look very daunting to me. Now, can they overcome the pitching injuries? I don't know.
So never lose. Just don't lose any series.
Yeah, this to me is kind of there for the taking a little bit.
What if they don't lose a series of the year?
And don't sweep anyone all year too?
Right. That'd be fine. I mean, they would still win, what, 90-something games?
When will be their first sweep of the year? They will sweep someone, I promise you.
I'll say this week versus the Angels.
You say Angels?
I'll say, yeah, the Angels this week.
Well, then, if that happens, then you got one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, you do.
21 and 12.
Yeah. And
7
they kind of
in their last 9.
And it would behoove them to do that now, just in case the pitching does falter here in the next couple of weeks. So you can give yourself a little wiggle room, because you don't want to test it out and be like, oh, this is what happens if we don't have Musgrove for the rest of the year. That's what happens if Darvish, makes another IL stint because he, is old and nicks and bruises and can't stay fully healthy. And that's test to see how good Waldron really is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it would behoove them to do to sweep the Angels and not put themselves in a situation if the pitching doesn't hold up here.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, Ballpark Pretzel wants to know if we saw what Tommy Pham did and said today, and if we still want Tommy Pham. Yeah, put him in left field. Padres need a left fielder. Do you guys still want Tommy Pham? LOL, what a bum. Yeah, absolutely. They need a starting left fielder, right? Profar, I think he only had like 1 hit today, maybe 2.
Yeah, you don't need Profar anymore. Profar sucks.
Profar for Pham. Who says no? I do.
Yeah, I do.
Pham's a clown.
I didn't even fully dive into exactly what happened. He threw his third base coach under the bus, I think.
This is why I work out in the offseason to fight people.
He went out of his way to try to knock out the catcher. So if it went to replay, he would have been out anyway. Because he went completely out of the baseline. And you can't do that because the catcher gave him a lane to slide.
Right.
And Pham's like, fuck it, I'm just going straight at him. I mean, yeah, he's a douche.
He's a douche.
But he's also one of those guys that, if he performs for you, then you just deal with it, right? But
unfortunately, he never performed with the Padres.
But he didn't ever perform with the Padres. If he played like he did with the, and it's like
Mets that 1 year.
The Mets. Well, also last year a little bit with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, sure.
Series, you just just like deal with it. Like if your team wins and he's doing okay, like you just deal with it. And probably he becomes like an endearing figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a Draymond Green. Everyone hates Draymond Green except for
Unless
Warriors
he's
fans.
yours. Yep.
Yeah. Tommy Pham's kind of the same way, but here's the thing. He's on one of the worst teams in baseball. I don't even know if he's performing because I haven't looked at his
He's
stats.
doing all right. I'm looking at it right now. He's hitting 287, 744 OPS.
Okay, so that's fine. But like, again, he's on a shitty team.
They suck. It means nothing.
So like, yeah, it means nothing. Who cares?
Yep.
So yeah.
I mean, this guy, I don't know. He's more of a headache than necessary. Is the way I probably look at it. If you told me that the Padres were going to get like the bad Jurickson Profar, I'd tell you Tommy Pham was an upgrade. If I would have thought Jurickson Profar coming into the year was not going to do anything near what he's done, and I would have told you Pham's better, but I would have been wrong. Hence the fact that it's hard to be GM, but who cares? It's Tommy Pham. He's never coming back here, right? Maybe they'll trade for him. They don't need him though. JD's third, thank you. He says, this is sounding like FanFest 2023 all over again. In what regard? Everyone's saying they're going to win the World Series or something? The players?
Who says that?
Yeah, I'm not sensing that from the team or the fans, to be honest with you. I'm sensing a little bit the opposite, truthfully. HBBV, thank you. He says, AJ will pull something crazy and land the starting pitcher. I mean, that's definitely possible. I mean, I probably put it as more probable than improbable that they'll land a starting pitcher. If Darvish or Musgrove both miss time, Jim, what are the odds they acquire a starting pitcher? If both of these guys miss a month plus, I'd say the odds are probably pretty good.
Very high, because you're in the National League portion of baseball where it's not going to take this Herculean effort to make the postseason. Probably not, and we know what Preller does when his teams are within striking distance or he feels like this team can do something. He makes moves always, no matter what. Even if the moves suck, like last year with Rich Hill and G-Man Choi. I mean, those were horrible moves, but he made moves to buy.
They were dumb. For
Garrett Cooper. I mean, he'll make a move. I guarantee it.
Me too. 100%. Moves are coming. That one, Homies Garage. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. I think we've probably gotten to 6,300 subscribers, but please subscribe. We're trying to get over 6,300 here tonight.
Smash 6,300. Let's go.
6,301. Thanks, guys.
Yay. Thanks, guys.
Let's get to 6,400. We only need 99 more.
Right now.
Subscribe. Smash the like button. Thank you for the supers. Click the dollar sign below the chat box, like that one, Homies Garage, who says, listening to the J&J show, seems like outside people don't expect the Padres to be a playoff team. Who are the outside people? But us fans do. I expect them to be a playoff team. I said I was all in 20 days ago, and we were saying 82 wins is going to get in. We both say they're going to win 40-something games on the road. I think they're going to win half their games at home. I think they'll win 80-something games and get in. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I think it would be – and now, again, the starting pitching thing puts a wrench in it, truthfully. That's a legitimate problem and concern, but I feel as if they'll find a way to overcome it over the next 100 games, especially with it being before the trade deadline. But I personally would be surprised if they're not in the playoffs. And I look at the National League, and teams are like 27-32 vying for playoff spots.
The way the National League is this year, the middle to bottom half, I would be very surprised if this Padres team does not make it in the postseason. And it puts that much pressure on them even more because of how just mid the National League is, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
And it puts even more emphasis that if they don't make it to the postseason with this just middling National League, then it's even more reason to make changes. Because if you can't make it in this year, it's over. It's done. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I'd say I'd be very surprised if they didn't make it, but I'd be surprised if they didn't make it.
Yeah.
And again, the starting pitching thing, if they had all their starting pitching, I probably would be very surprised. Vince's Adventures, thank you. He says, we needed a starter. Trevor Bauer What about this name, Jim? Let's do it. Trevor Bauer.
It's a new name.
Yeah, have you heard him?
Look,
where's he pitching?
You know how many teams in baseball need pitching guys? You know how many teams in baseball are dealing with this, like, not the same thing the Padres are, but like, I mean, the Giants just lost Blake Snell again today to another injury.
And he's been trash, right?
He's been god awful for them. But it's funny how like every team in baseball needs starting pitching, including the Yankees, by the way, who have done all this without Garrett freaking Cole. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them have picked up the phone to Trevor Bauer. Interesting.
Despite the fact that he is 6-0 for the Mexico City Red Devils with a 1.53 ERA, 70 strikeouts in 47 innings, 11 walks, a .98 whip.
It's pretty good.
Ain't happening, guys. If he's pitching with a 1 ERA in Mexico, then that's how you know it ain't happening. Because he's got a 1 ERA and nobody's picked him up for 2 months.
Yeah, and it's still like it's everybody. I see it all the time.
He's done.
Yeah, it's if no one's picking him up now, no one's going to pick him up.
Right. What's he going to take? Like
what? Yeah. What do you got to see? Yeah, like I got to pitch a 70 scoreless innings in Mexico. Even then, it's like no team is touching that. They don't want to deal with that PR nightmare. Regardless of what the case says and regardless of what you feel about the case, it still would be just a bit of a media circus.
Like, what is he worth? First of all, you impact your clubhouse. We always say that in a negative way. Everyone talks about how the vibes are great with this team. And if this team's going to win 84 games, you want Trevor Bauer to go into 85, 86? I mean, what's he going to make? 15 starts? It's a half a year. You win 1 or 2 additional games as a result of him starting those 15 games. So you go from 84 to 85. You go from 85 to 86. I just don't understand why you take all that backlash and criticism and craziness to go try to win another game and a half.
Right.
So, and it's not happening, but people like talking about it. People love talking about it.
Love talking about it. Yeah.
They definitely do. Guys, Underdog Fantasy, you can play right now. You can get a 50% deposit match up to $250 by scanning that QR code, which is on the screen above Jim, or click the link in the description down below. Padres Pick'em's going on right now for tomorrow. Again, a 50% deposit match. Use promo code PADSWRAP. That's PADS. WRAP. Click that link in the description down below. It's never been simpler or easier to win. Toddy's hot. Let's say he's got a homer tomorrow, which is very possible against the bad Angels. And let's see. I'm just looking at who on the Angels because you need to use both teams. And let's see who's even pitching for the Angels. No one. I don't even have
Tyler Anderson.
But he's not up here though.
Mm.
Tyler Anderson. Let's say Tyler Anderson.
He's got a sub-3 ERA, by the way. Just let you know.
He's going to shove. So let's say then he has 2 first-inning strikeouts, okay? Just that, $10 pays $151. A Nando homer and Tyler Anderson, two strikeouts in the first inning, $10 pays $151. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get that 50% deposit match up to $250. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description down below. It's simple, it's easy, and you can play along, Jim, beginning tomorrow with Padres Pick'ems or any sport. Major League Baseball, NBA Finals, of course, this week, WNBA, whatever it is, you can play along right now.
You know, NF puts in the chat a bunch of names that could be trade targets, and one of them is Tyler Anderson, who's having a pretty good year for the Angels.
Okay.
Sub-3 ERA, lefty. I mean, he historically does very well against the Padres. Even more the reason to say that, yeah, he's due for something. So yeah,
didn't we try to get them to acquire Tyler Anderson like 3 years ago?
Maybe. I think he was here with the Pirates one year, and I think he almost threw a no-hitter.
Yeah.
I'm serious, by the way.
22, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good endorsement. That's it?
Yeah, he's good. So, and he's good, and Toddy is due. So there you go.
All right, let's get back to the supers here. Vince's Adventure says Trevor Bauer in a playoff start is worth the league minimum he is willing to play for. No, it's not. It's not. I mean, okay, so if you didn't have Darvish, if you didn't have Musgrove, and you had no other, I mean, but you're going way far now. Because again, Preller's going to acquire pitching if he doesn't have Darvish and Musgrove. Let's say he does have one of them. Now you got Darvish, you got Cease, you got King. You have enough. First series, a 3-game series. You have enough. What game is Trevor Bauer pitching if you have a healthy Yu Darvish and you have a healthy Dylan Cease? Not the first two. Promise you that.
Nope.
So I don't see it. Plus, what if you get the opposite result and it rips the thing apart and the team doesn't play well?
What if he started a decisive game 3 on the road in like Atlanta and he gets shelled?
Yeah, or that. Exactly. Or that. Exactly. I can see that. I can envision that. I mean, he's clearly not washed. Don't get me wrong. I mean, somehow he's pitched well in Korea and Mexico. I don't know how the hell he's done it, truthfully.
And I'm just saying, like, if he's not even getting a call from anybody else in baseball,
right?
Why do you expect the Padres to do that? If they haven't, like, they're not.
Right.
No one is doing it. No one's doing it. And that should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, because there's probably more aggressive or like less risk adverse teams than the Padres, and none of them are doing it. It's a very good point. HBBV, thank you. He says the only scary thing in Anaheim is Mickey Mouse. Let's hope. Let's see 3 days from now. Yeah, let's hope. I mean, this is not the series you don't. You can't lose this one.
The scary Padres.
Matt couldn't believe it. I said, Angels are 7-21 at home. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Oh boy, I'm scared of the Padres.
But Tyler Anderson's not scared of the Padres, apparently. Or Fernando Tatis Jr.
Anderson, he's a good pitcher.
He's a really good pitcher.
This year, at least.
How's the rest of their team?
The team really sucks.
Shohei Ohtani ain't playing for them anymore, is he?
Who's that? Oh boy.
Mike Trout, is he still around?
Oh, he's injured. Poor Mike Trout.
He's going to come back for game 1 of this series and just go crazy.
No. No, he's
not. He's really not.
He's really not.
Oh, God. Stop, please.
No, boy.
Have they drawn? Like, Angels draw attendance-wise?
No, they don't. We suck. Oh boy.
Hold on. Let me see it. I'm curious. And they draw 27,000 per game.
That's a lot.
That's a lot
of people. That's a lot of people, John. Oh boy.
God. Where are they? 14th.
14th. We're 14th.
30,000.
That's a lot.
Do it forever.
Do it forever.
Never stop with that voice. Do your vows in that voice.
Aaron would not like that.
Forever and forever won't be enough.
That's funny, Aaron. Oh boy.
Aaron. Forever,
no.
forever.
Okay, you can stop that now. You can stop it. Okay. Only I can.
You're my Minnie.
Oh, no. Only I can do it.
You're my Donald. All right, guys, if you're looking to get healthier like Mickey and Minnie, ORA.organic or Aura, click the link in the description down below. They've been with us since day one. Longtime supporters of the wrap-up show. If you're looking to get healthier, probiotics, they have them for you. They're all plant-based, all their products. All their products are plant-based, whether it's the probiotic, which I take every day. It's great for digestion, or pre-workout supplements or proteins for after workouts. They have omega-3 oils. If you're taking fish oils, you can take their omega-3 oil, sleep pills, immunity pills, so much more. Check them out at their website. They got free shipping going on right now on orders of $75 or more. Great company. Offices right here at Liberty Station in San Diego. Their co-founder, Will, San Diegan, huge Padres fan, has supported the channel for 2+ years at this point. So it's got something for you, your loved ones, family, friends. Click the link in the description down below or go to ORA.organic. That's ORA.organic.
Yep, they have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. If you are thinking about getting some supplements to be healthier, Aura is the place to go. www.ora.organic. Pick up some stuff, and you'll thank us later.
Oh, you will thank us later.
Yeah, you will.
You will thank us later, and you will take all those supplements, and you will be really, really healthy.
Can you do Minnie?
No, John, this is the only thing I can do.
Isn't that Minnie have the same voice?
The mini is like a girl voice, John.
Let's get back to college baseball, which is why people are here. UCSB hasn't lost at home all year. 26-0 until yesterday. Not shut out all year. Oregon checked off both boxes, Jim.
That's
As
great.
Manny would say, that's baseball.
That's baseball.
That's baseball.
That's a baseball. That's a baseball, John. Ha! Oh boy.
All right. Join us tomorrow at 3. San Diego Sports 760. John and Jim will get you ready for. When's the first pitch tomorrow? Let me guess, like 3:31 or something Pacific.
Probably.
Is that what time the game is?
So stupid.
It's got to be at night, right?
No, tomorrow's got to be night game. 6:38.
6:38.
6:38.
What the
Perfect.
hell is that?
3 hours of pregame for you. Actually, all 3 games are at 6:38. So join us all week long.
Yes.
We're going to get you ready all week long. Shoot, they play. There's not even off day Thursday. They play 6:40 on Thursday. They play 6:40 on Friday.
Let's go.
Listen
Oh, let's
to
go,
John
buddy.
and Jim all week, and then we've got wrap-up shows for you all week with Minnie and Mickey and Donald.
Just Mickey.
Just Mickey. All right. If you wouldn't mind, please subscribe here on Content for Padres fans. Hit the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you are here on replay. Thank you for your support of our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, Finley, Aura, and again, Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. We are back tomorrow. Join us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, free iHeartRadio app. Search for John and Jim 760 on YouTube. For Mickey, I'm John. This has been the Wrap-Up Show.